Dr. YoVanda Brown is founder of, is it Shava? So transformation,
Shava.
Shava,
Yes.
transformational coach dedicated to restoring the healing process of life and qualities that will boost positive energy from a negative mindset. So I think also this really ties in nicely, just building on from the other topics that we've heard about today. Dr. YoVanda is also a certified emotional intelligence coach and practitioner, and talks a little bit about putting that into practice, so quite actionable tips. So really looking forward to hearing a little bit about what you're going to talk about next. So welcome very much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. So glad to be here, and thank you for the opportunity to be able to present on today. My talk today is how much is your peace worth? And this is peace over solipsism. Solipsism is a lack of self-awareness. So why is it important for me to understand how much my peace is worth? And as a woman, a leader, an entrepreneur, learning the worth of my peace costs me everything by being trapped in solipsism. To the point that I now count it a privilege to be in my right mind in peace. And being in my right mind because I nearly lost my mind because I was so trapped into a lack of self-awareness about myself that I gave my all, my everything to everybody and put me on a back burner and forgot that I even existed. And it was at the point when life was lifing and everything was coming at me, and I just, in 2010, had a mental breakdown. I went to the hospital. I drove myself to the hospital to check myself in to the psych ward. But when I got to the doors and the doors automatically swung open, I truly believe that the Holy Spirit told me, you cannot go in because I'm going to heal you. And I'm going to show you how to help my sons and my daughters to operate in divine peace. So it has now been my mission since 2010 to be able to empower men and women, because my wounds, they turned into wisdom. My pain turned into passion. My drama turned into deliverance. My trauma turned into triumph. So now I equip women and men to face their lack of self-awareness. And that's what solipsism is, a lack of self-awareness. We all have vicissitudes and blind spots in life when it comes to comprehending ourselves. Again, solipsism is a lack of self-awareness. And this lack of self-awareness, being selfish as hidden barriers to our personal growth and our flourishing relationships with others. So therefore, I actively support women and men to know how much their peace is worth with boldness and confidence. Being in this space to be able to understand what is peace. A lot of times we think, peace is causing wars to end. Yeah, causing, focusing on the conflict and war, the hopes of humankind. But I want us to dig deeper and to look within ourselves, because peace is also a choice of self-development. And that's the part I want to zoom in on today, talking about self-development. Living up to a value and securing a state of inner peace within oneself. That's what I had to learn. I had to learn to know that my inner peace means more to me than me giving my all to everybody else. and me forgetting about me. Spending that, we heard it mentioned about having that quiet time, being able to have that space and time where, you know what, I just unplug. That's what I call mine. I unplug. No phone, no social media, no outside. I just unplug and just take that time. And I really scan myself, like as if I'm in an airport and I'm standing in the machine and that machine is scanning me. I do the same thing. Day, several times throughout the day. Scan me and let me help to identify where I am. How am I feeling? Because I understand how I see, what I see will determine what I will have. I'm going to say that again. How I see, what I see will determine what I will have. So, how do you see what you see? Is it something from a negative mindset? Or is it something that, you know what, life can be coming at me, but I can make the best of it? I can stand in this moment, take ownership of this moment now. NOW. Now I take ownership of this moment. And when I take ownership of this moment, I then spell now backwards. And guess what? I've won. And when I won, I just mix up those three letters again. And now I own this moment. And that's what helped me to eliminate being burnt out. We just heard Dr. Walker, I believe it was, that just talked about being burnt out. So according to Forbes in 2022, according to Forbes in 2022, between July 7th and August 2nd, a new study showed that burnt out is an international crisis. The study on burnt out shows a global impact consisting of 11 countries, including Australia, New England, China, India, Japan, France, Germany, United Kingdom, Brazil, Canada, and the United States. The reality is there is much hope. There isn't much hope in the international crises ending anytime soon concerning the challenges, the purpose, and the problems that we face today. The new difficulties and circumstances and situations and the issues that we may face tomorrow and the days to come, our hope must be in strategically knowing our burnt out clues and knowing the worth of our peace. So, what are burnt out clues? I know for me, it was exhaustion. I was exhausted. I was burnt out. That was considered the core. I was exhausted, but I was still trying to function. I was exhausted, but I was still trying to give my all to everybody wearing me out. Feeling the dread or the lack of motivation. That's another clue that you're burnt out. Another clue of burnt out is your mind wanders. Your mind is going here, there, and everywhere, and you're not present centered. You're not in the moment. You're not embracing your now. So it's vitally important that we do understand that these clues, you have difficulty sleeping at night. That's an indication, that's a clue of being burnt out. You have inconsistent appetite. That's another clue that you could be burnt out. You have irritability. You're irritated. You display irritable behaviors. Be so in sync, scan yourself and find out where you are so that you can recognize and self-identify, have that self-awareness. You know what? Let me just pause and breathe. Let me just take a moment. And what I like to do, and it's so funny, I was going to do it the same. I'll do a breathing moment as well. And what this moment is called a box breathing method. I take a deep breath in, hold it for 4 seconds, and then breathe out for 4 seconds. I do that 3 times. And then I take a deep breath in, hold it for 4 seconds, and then blow out for 8 seconds. What that does, blowing out for that 8 seconds, shows me that I can go past the point where I would normally stop. Being so in sync, being so in tune with my own self-awareness. Because I've come to learn that if I am not synced, SNCH, if I'm not synced in the moment, I will sink in the moment, SINK. Okay, having that space, having that time to be able to identify you're burnt out, feeling useless, you're depressed. Those are another clues of being burnt out. Frequent headaches, that's another clue that you're burnt out. Gut pain, that's another clue. So when we self-identify and be able to scan ourselves and feel the moment, be in the moment, be in your now, and know that in this moment I can have self-awareness, that I do not allow a lack of self-awareness overpower me, overtake me. Turning to others for comfort, always needing someone else's advice, opinions, or you're turning to something else to self-medicate. That can be food, over-exercising, drugs, alcohol. What are you relying on? Okay, being in that place and being in that mindset, that I can understand that where I am, I take ownership of this moment. Again, how you see, what you see will determine what you will have. Many situations and circumstances, or even vicissitudes, were designed to keep women silent in Solipsism. However, it is with positive action that I speak to encourage women and men that their peace has power. Your peace has power. Again, now take ownership of this moment because you've won. And when I've won, I own the space that I'm in. I like to share and to say that in moments, I have a current reality. I see where I am. I understand where I am. I take ownership of where I am. And then I also like to forecast and look ahead and to be able to, in peace, to be able to see that this is where I want to go. That's my perceived reality. And I draw an arrow from my current reality to my perceived reality, and I put steps down in between to know the path that I need to take to get me to where I need to go. Again, how you see, what you see will determine what you will have. Not only are women to survive, but the key is we must thrive in radical shifts. There must be altered perspectives. I'm sorry. We must embrace new beginnings. We have to shift in our thinking. There must be a fundamental change. We have to embrace overarching transformations. We also have to embrace revolutionary change. We have to embrace our own metamorphosis. We have to embrace our own advancements. We have to embrace a total change. We have to have an internal evaluation. Check on you. My saying to me now is, I help me, help me. And in helping me, help me, I've learned that I can now help others, help others. It must be ongoing growth, adaptive development, and life-altering shifts. These life altering shifts will then help us to be able to embrace the moment. As a scripture, one of my favorite scriptures is, I beseech you, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. It is our reasonable service to be able to be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. For my mind to be renewed, I had to be delivered from lack of self-awareness. I had to be delivered from solipsism. And to be able to stand in peace, whether other people do not embrace my no, I realize my no is just as powerful as my yes. And I utilize my no. Again, how you see, what you see will determine what you will have. Take ownership of the moment. I beseech you, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present, and this is the action, the actionable strategies. I have to present myself. I have to do my own homework. I have to do my own legwork on me being a better version of myself. I can't expect everyone else to feed into me, and I don't feed into me, because my peace matters. How much is your peace worth? Know the value of your peace. Know the value of who you are. Know your value of who you are in the earth, in the world. Know that you matter. Know that we're the place that you occupy, the place that you occupy. When there is peace in the individual, there is peace in the family. When there is peace in the family, there is peace in the community. And when there is peace in the community, there will be peace in the nation. When there is peace in the nation, there will be peace in the world. So it starts with us as an individual. Take ownership now, because you've won. And because you've won, you can stand and declare that I feel what I feel, I see what I see, I own what I own. I am she. I am the woman that stands as the best version of myself every chance and opportunity that I can be the best version of me. I used to be sleep on me. I refuse to sleep on me anymore, because I now understand how much my peace is worth, because I nearly lost my mind in being everything to everybody and forgot that I even existed. And it wasn't until I was asked the question, well, YoVanda, what do you want? And I was like a deer in headlights. I was just like stuck. I couldn't answer that question. It was such a personal question, and I didn't have an answer for me. And that made me be in pursuit of me, be in pursuit of peace. That I would never be in a spot again in life where someone asked me a question and I couldn't check in on me. How much is your peace worth? Peace over solipsism, lack of self-confidence. Stand in your truth. Stand knowing that you can have a balanced life. Check in on your own emotions. And we may be saying, like, my day is so busy, I don't have time to check in on me. Well, as a woman, let me tell you where I found my time before I put my bra on. Those moments where I'm just laying in bed, scrolling on Facebook or LinkedIn or social media, those moments before you put your bra on, check in on you. Because once you strap up and put your bra on, you're off to the races. So there is time and space, but we have to find that space. We have to find those moments. So I urge you, women, find that time when it's quiet, when it's still, before you put your bra on. And know that you can take ownership now because you've won. And now I own this moment. I know the value of my peace. And I'm no longer stuck in solipsism. So I thank you all for your time. Thank you for allowing me to have this space to be able to share what peace really means to me. And peace to me, it is worth a lot because I lost me in the process of finding me. So if there are any questions or comments, or I would love to be able to share and to help you at this time. I'm back to you, Hannah.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, YoVanda. Very insightful. And yeah, I can see obviously building on and connecting the dots between some of the other talks as well, which is great. I really like the way you're able to connect back to some of what we've already heard. And I think it helps us recall what we've already heard and think about how we can apply it in lots of different contexts. So thank you very much. And thank you for sharing your story. Obviously a lot of courage and transformation that's taken place. So thank you. I really appreciate you
welcome.
Sharing that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you're happy to put your contact details and best way to connect with you in the chat, that would be super.
Most definitely. Yes, I'll put it in.
My hand is up. My hand is up.
Sorry. There it is.
Okay. That's okay. I'm still stuck on the word Solipsism. I need to know how to spell that. I understand what it means, but that's the first I've heard it. I understand it very good, but I'm trying to understand how do you spell it. Could you just write? I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. Could you put it in the chat?
Solipsism. Yes, I can. I can put it in chat.
Please.
SOLIP.
And I love that. I'm gonna steal that quote. I'm not gonna steal it. I'm just gonna use it. Your quote where you said you said how we see what we see, and how you said how I see what I see, and how I how determine what I see. Well, is what I have. Tell me how that it goes again.
How I see what I see will determine what I will have.
That's it. Okay, yeah, I love that. I love quotes. Oh, that was awesome. That was just over the top. That is so true. Faith without works is dead. That was what came to me when you said that. Go ahead. I'm good.
Thank you. Dr. Claudia, you've got your hand up as well.
I did. I just want to make a comment to you and say thank you so much for your authenticity and sharing your story and your presentation of how that we need to take care of ourselves. And I heard the different things that you said and how you did it. And I thought it was so insightful and wonderful in what you were sharing. Thank you so much for your presentation. It was powerful.
You're welcome. You're welcome.